Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingraham. This is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. As always, thank you for joining us. And at this hour, President Biden is in New Orleans. He's headed to a prayer service for the 14 victims of that horrific terror attack as we get the disturbing new details about how this all happened. But first, new year, new wins. That's the focus of tonight's angle. All right, I hope you all had a blessed Christmas and a happy new year. Our family, and I hope yours, felt like we all had a lot to celebrate and be grateful for. But I hope you also got some rest, too, because after the last 4 years, hey, we all needed it, even Zoe. But now we're done with being on the defensive and we're all ready to get to work. Right now, tonight, America is in the strongest position that we've been in decades to be able to restore the country and return power back to the people where it always belonged. The election was certified today, and Kamala had to preside.
The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
It was a sight to behold. Now, Democrats spent over $1 billion. They threw everything they could at Trump, tried to put him in jail, yet the result is Republicans control every branch of government and have a historic opportunity to govern. Now, of course, we're all going to have our disagreements, but no one, and I mean no one, should forget that without Donald Trump, there would be no GOP majority, so his nominees and his proposals deserve some serious deference. Now, that having been said, it's our job here on The Angle to hold everyone accountable, and rest assured, that's what The Angle will do in the coming year. Trump supporters expect policies that benefit American workers. He did it the first term, he can do it again, and that does not include an explosion of foreign labor in the United States just to keep costs low for big tech. But I'm very optimistic that these issues, all of them, will be worked out. Trump's experience from his first term is hard-won. And he's now mission-focused. Peace and prosperity, that's what Americans voted for in November. And this is what he needs to deliver. He knows this. This agenda is serious, and it's going to require bold and decisive action by him and his team. So first, of course, the economy. Inflation's still too high. Regulations have to be slashed. Taxes need cutting, and on tariffs, Wall Street doesn't like them, but they're coming to terms with the fact that those tariffs are going to be needed. If imposed as advertised, Trump's tariffs could deal a hefty blow to China. Xi Jinping would have no easy remedies. I was shocked to read that. Yeah. And second, on energy, Trump will take immediate action to unleash America's vast energy reserves. This despite a pitiful move by Joe Biden today, announcing that he's expanding territory that's off limits to offshore drilling. Thanks. Trump's just going to undo that on day one. Third, on immigration, Trump can't move fast enough to deport the millions who've gamed our system, including the monsters who Joe Biden's policies allowed in, like Nicholas Jose Francisco, just charged with sexual battery. I want to see his photo. Against a 5-year-old girl in Palm Beach County, Florida. Yeah. Fourth, Trump's ready to reform our woke military. The Pentagon has an almost $900 billion budget, and yet America hasn't won a war outright since World War II. That's despite our brave troops. So it's time to ditch transmania and social justice experiments at the Pentagon and all the fantasies about how that's going to make us a stronger fighting force. That didn't work. Fifth, Trump needs to end the Ukraine war, and he has vowed to do this. By the way, Zelensky's asking for more money later this week, even as Biden's been shoveling billions out the door as fast as possible to Ukraine. I think it's worth remembering that we don't even know how many troops on both sides have died. But we do know it's in the hundreds of thousands. It's a bloodbath. And hundreds of billions of U.S. taxpayer dollars later, well, we've helped prolong the killing fields. 6, the China threat. We've just begun to learn how the CCP has penetrated our most sensitive communications and, by the way, our infrastructure. It's extremely disturbing. The Wall Street Journal did a phenomenal report on this over the weekend. Again, this is despite the billions that we've spent over the years on the deep state. So what's China planning? Well, we're going to dig into that later in the show. Meanwhile, there is really zero sense, from what I can tell, that at least Democrats in elected office have a clue about how to fix their own mess. They're still lying about the Biden cover-up.
Leader Schumer, what do you say to Americans who feel as though you and other top Democrats misled them about President Biden's mental acuity?
No. Look, we didn't, and let's look at President Biden. He's had an amazing record. The legislation we passed, one of the most significant groups of legislation since Lyndon Johnson's Great Society, putting in 235 judges, a record, and he's a patriot. He's a great guy.
Yeah, the headline there is they're still lying. Okay, they lied about Biden. They're still lying about their record. They lied about Trump. They lied about January 6th and the government informants that were present. They're still doing it. That's not learning. Democrats know, they know this, that the only person to be killed on January 6th was Ashley Babbitt. And they want to memory hole her, but we will not let them. And of course, yeah, they continue to lie about Donald Trump.
Do you still believe he's a threat to democracy?
I think what he did was a genuine threat to democracy. I'm hopeful that we're beyond that.
Yeah, so he wins, so no longer is he a threat to democracy. It was always a lie. And he's a sad, contemptible man. Look, we can't ever let their big lies fly again. And there should be accountability, from COVID to Afghanistan to the Secret Service bungles. The list goes on and on. It's time to set the record straight, to restore credibility to our government. It's critical that we do this. And Trump can do it if his own party doesn't get in the way and if he remembers the lessons from the first go-round. But for now, at least, the big names of big government, the Obamas, the Clintons, the Cheneys, the Bushes, Biden, Harris, they've all been defeated, courtesy of Donald Trump. Well, their policies, we know, were abject failures. And ditto for pretty boy Trudeau in Canada. He's now gone too. That was a little added bonus. So growing the MAGA ranks is going to require that Trump chalk up early successes. And as they say, look, winning is hard, but governing is harder. But with Democrats demoralized and Republicans determined, the best truly can be yet to come. And that's the end.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.